Welcome back to the Hats That I Wear Training Center. Over the last several modules, we have really delved into the theory of setting up a project or a goal. And last training module, we got into a little bit of hands-on. Remember, we are in the design phase of the project or goal you are working on. And the design phase has two sides. It has the analytical side, which is more of the technical, setting up your purpose, your plan, your timeline, your budget. And then you have the creative side, which is gathering up the visuals that stimulate the emotion and the excitement to be able to help you visualize what you want the end result to be. So last training module, we got into some hands-on with Pinterest on how to use that as a tool for you to be able to gather up your creative side, your visual. And today we're going to delve in and do some hands-on with that project charter. The project charter may at first seem to be a little bit overwhelming to you, but as I show you how to utilize the tool Canva to break that project charter down and to show it visually pleasing, you will find that the project charter is going to be something that is going to be fun to put together, something you're going to enjoy. And by utilizing Canva as this tool to develop your project charter, you can then choose to pop it over and put it into your Pinterest board and either have that board public or have it private. But there you will have both your strategic side and your creative side of your project charter. And at that point, you'll be ready to head into the strategy phase of the project. Let's head over to Canva. Utilizing the power of Canva can really make putting together your project charter fun, even though you are working on the analytical side of the project charter. Organization is key, whether you're in the analytical realm of your design phase and project charter, or whether you're on the creative side. Making sure that you're organized with your thoughts and your visuals is really important to being successful with accomplishing your goal and being able to have everything that you need to be able to move on to the next phase, which is the strategic phase. So you can see right here that I am labeling. So it's Sphere 36901, meaning that this is page 1 of the project charter. I have put this together visually through drag and drop and doing that myself. I'm going to show you how I did that. But have no fear, there are templates within Canva. So you can also really utilize the power of templates. So I have labeled everything Sphere 369. I did a little header here that kind of gives it a futuristic look. We're labeling it's my project charter. I do plan on putting this on Pinterest, so everything that I have needs to have my logo on it, so it is showing that it's me. And I'll put a copyright on here as well. So as you can see, if I scroll down just a little bit, you can see that I am on page 1. I am just really delving into the opportunity, the goal, the purpose, the intent, the expectation, putting together a foundation. So when we talk about the opportunity, what is the opportunity for your goal? The opportunity that I wrote, the statement that I wrote for it is, as an author, I would like to explore my writing capabilities to expand into fiction writing so I can continue to grow as an author. Now, the question may be is, how do you write an opportunity statement? Well, let me break it down. It's very simple. First of all, you're going to establish what hat you are wearing. So as you can see, I am wearing an author hat. So as an author, so I've established what role I am playing with this goal. Then I'm stating what I would like to work on. I would like to explore my writing capabilities by expanding into fiction writing. And then the last part of it is stating, why is it that this is an opportunity for me to expand my skill? And so I write, so I can continue to grow as an author. So in that opportunity statements, there are three things that need to be included. One is, what is the role you're playing? What is it why is this an opportunity for you? And how will this opportunity change your life? How will you grow with this opportunity? So those are the three things that you need to have in your opportunity statement. Then the next one is your goal. And the goal is so easy to be able, just short and sweet. My goal is to self-publish a fiction novel. Very simple, very sweet. Then we go down into the purpose, the intent, and the expectation. What is the purpose for my goal? The purpose of my goal is to push myself out of my comfort zone of nonfiction writing. I'm a nonfiction motivational writer. That is easy for me. I have 3 years worth of books in queue to be able to be self-released. And I also do poetry. And poetry is relatively easy for me. I've already published 2 books in poetry, and I have published 8 books. No, I've published 7 books in the Ember Within series. So you can see that as a nonfiction writer, an nonfiction author, I'm very comfortable there. But for me to increase my skill as an author, I need to delve into different genres. And the genre that I haven't delved into yet is the fiction, because I have also written a children's book and I have done the illustrations on there. So that is the purpose of my goal, is to push me out of my comfort zone to be able to expand my writing. And then I go into my intent. My intent is to determine if I have the skill to add fiction writing to my writing genre to help with book sales. That really is my intent. I would like to increase my book sales. And while I enjoy writing nonfiction and I enjoy writing poetry, I've enjoyed writing the children's book, could I expand into fiction and could I add that to my genre, which would then give another area where my readers could go and select books to read or books to give away for family, friends, for gifts. So that is really the intent. And if you notice, and I've talked about this in a previous module, if your intent is to also increase your financial stability, don't be ashamed of that. Put that in there, because there is nothing wrong with wanting to have some financial stability, or to increase your financial stability so that you can provide for yourself and your family. Then the last is the expectations. So what is my expectation for this goal? Here is, for authors, here's where you get really challenged. We really don't have control of book sales. Book sales are determined by the reader. So we really can't establish an expectation of how many book sales we want right now at this point, because we haven't determined whether our marketing is getting the results with the buyers that may be interested. So really be careful to not set yourself up for disappointment or failure with your expectations. Your expectations are what you have 100% control over. So my expectations is to have my book self-published in 2022. It is October 2021. So that gives me a year and a couple of months. So to be able to get that done. And that's going to be a pretty tight deadline. That in and of itself is going to be pretty tight. So now as you scroll down here, you'll notice here that the header remains the same. I've changed, and now we're on page 2. Now we're going into my objectives, a little more deeper there, the scope, and the business case. So my objectives are to increase my writing skills, to increase my editing skills, my marketing skills, and my sales skills. Those are my primary objectives for why I am doing my goal. Then we have the scope. The scope is Sphere 369 has the opportunity of being a single book or a series. It can be expanded into merchandising, the videos, game production, and comic books. So what is scope? Scope is basically saying what is the touch points? Where can your goal expand beyond just this one goal? Then my business case is, how is this going to affect my business if I do this goal? And my business as an author, because once again, remember, it goes back when we set our objective. Our objective was as an author. Being an author is a business. So my long-term goal is to be able to continue to write and sell books as my retirement income when I reach retirement age. By having multiple touch points for my writing, this increases my profitability of success. So these are things we want to address, because it's not just what are we doing for this goal that's just right here in front of us, but how does this goal affect our lives long term? And that is the beauty of a project charter. So now we're going to talk about the constraints and the solutions. So for me, when I look at the constraints of doing my goal to write a fiction book, it's really the biggest constraint for me is managing my time. So managing my time between writing a new book in fiction while maintaining my nonfiction book releases and keeping up on social media, that's going to be a time management issue that I'm going to need to address. I also need to manage my time with the new V-learning job and client work and e-learning. So I'm starting to do videos. So that's adding another touch point for my long-term, my long-term business plan and goal, but it also could affect my goal that I'm working on. Managing my time to ensure I stay up on exercising and relationships. When you start to add more goals and they tend to overlap, we have to still have a life. We still need to be able to enjoy that. So that is going to be, all of these are really focusing on time, and then managing the potential to not burn out. I drive myself hard normally, but this is going to take it up a notch or two because, I have so many touch points and I'm working on a couple of goals at the same time. So what is the solution? I want to know right up front on this project charter. I'm going to be writing out a commitment of what I'm going to do to provide solutions to the constraints that I'm seeing. So my solution was to address the constraints of time management. I will need to look at my goal in a business perspective and establish a schedule for myself of what type of writing and activity I will be working on for a given day. This will help ensure I maintain my relationships and don't burn out. So here we have the solution right there. When we look at this as a business objective, we're going to have multiple hats on. We are going to have a stake owner hat. We're going to have an investor hat on, a project manager. We're going to have, we're going to be an employer and an employee. The employer is going to be saying, okay, I need to have this and this and this done. Here's your schedule for today. And the employee needs to look at that and say, okay, yeah, I'll get that done. And here's the beauty of the project charter is you have just addressed all that. You have just put on a manager's hat and said, okay, this is going to be a time issue. we may have some time restraints for the employees we have currently working on this project, which is one. So once again, you're going to be bouncing those hats back and forth and off and on to be able to make sure that all the different hats you're wearing is doing their job. And when that all the different hats you're wearing still is on the same person, you still have to look at it in a business perspective and address each side from that point of view. All right, so now I am going and I'm talking about the technology. What is the technology that I'm going to use? So I make a list of the technology that I'm going to be using, and this is a living document. So if I need to add technology in here, then I will put, I can just come right into this page and add it. Then I talk about the social media platforms I plan to be on, and then underneath those two, I talk about the budget. I'm not sharing with you my budget. That's something that actually won't be included when I put this on Pinterest, because that's private. Then we go and we start to do a little bit about what it is we are going to write. And this is another page that I'm not writing down what is going in here, because I do plan on, of course, I'm showing you this and I'm making it public, and that's something that I'm not going to be shared with the general public right off the bat. I may share it after I've released it. Then I would probably consider sharing all of this. But you're going to have, for the plot breakdown, I need to have an introduction. I'm going to be, just briefly going and writing about what is the conflict, what is the rising action, what am I going to have as the climax, how am I going to resolve that, and then, what is the falling action, and then how am I going to create resolution. So introduction. And you can see how I've just put lines here. Introduction we start here, introduction, then we go to conflict, we go to rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. And that is the plot breakdown that you'll need to do if you're doing this for writing a book. Then I create a timeline, because remember, I want to be able to release this in December or around 2022, and so I needed to know if that was feasible. If it wasn't feasible, then I would go and I may have to go and push it back to 2023. That may be a project, that may be something I have to do. This is a living document. So because I've written so many books and released so many books, I have a good idea of a timeline. But fiction is a lot different in that I'm going to have to spend more time with it. I am now to a point with my nonfiction writing that I pretty much have a really good pattern. So I can release a book almost, between 1 and 3 months. But this one is going to definitely be a little over a year. So month one, and I have already done this, I'm gathering all the fictional drafts that I have explored over the last several years and determined if any could be used for Sphere 369. And I found out that very wonderfully many could. So to month 2 to 6, and I'll increase that just a little bit so you can see it. So month 2 to 6, I would like to write 16K words a month, 4K words a week, or 600 words a day. Any of those will be acceptable, because fiction books are usually I'm aiming for around 100,000 words. So then month 8 and 9 is going to be revisions, first round edits. That gives me 2 months to really pick it apart and do some edits to get it ready for the editor. Then on month 10, while it is in the editor's hands, I'm going to work on the book cover. And that will include, you know, the blurb and all of that stuff to go, both the ebook and the print book on there. Month 11, I'm hoping to get it back from the editor. That may or may not be, that's going to have to be flexible based upon them. Hopefully, I know that I've had fiction books that I could get it back in a month time. We'll see if a nonfiction book can be back in a month. Then after I get it back from the editor and I do the revisions based on the editor, then I'm giving it to beta readers. Beta readers have 1 month to be able to give me back their feedback. And then month 13 would be the final revisions, which then makes it so I could comfortably release that in December 2022. It is October 2021, so that gives me a little bit of flexibility there in case we have it, you know, things get busy or I need more time with editors. So that is my release goal. Then I go in here and I also address what touch points. So I can, with Sphere 369, of course, I could do a single book or I could do a series. There's a potential of possible future video games, audiobooks, products, you know, like maybe coffee mug with something about 369 on here, t-shirts with Sphere 369, or doing comic books. So that is my project charter, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of ideas for how you're going to want to do this. So now I'm going to there's a couple different ways I want you to know how you can add to your project charter. Right here, if you want to duplicate the page, you can go and do this. Then I'm going to go up here. I'm going to lock that background. That will allow me to just grab and delete these things here. If I'm saying, you know what, I really liked how I laid out this, we want to make sure that is locked, which I unlocked it. It is. That allows me to grab these string here. I'm going to copy that. And then, oops, let's bring it down here. Then if I click on here, so that's highlighted, and paste it, that puts that right in here. And you can see that this, of course, then needs to be taken out or readdressed. So that's how easy it is for you to go and create another page on what you're already doing. I don't need that, so I'm going to trash that. Now, I talked about the power of Canva in that they have templates. So if you go over to templates right here, you can search the different templates that you want, but you can easily do something as simple as grab something here. And if you grab it in there, it's going to put it as a backdrop. You can go and start, if you're like wanting to do vocabulary words or whatever, we can go and look at the different ones. Let's see, let's go and, you know, we can do this one here. I am going to put this one here. So you can kind of see how I utilized this layout, but I modified it when I did this. So you can create a template and then take things off to make it so it's more your own. But there are just lots of different ways in order for you to be able to utilize this. Just because maybe you like this, the way it looks here, well, all you have to do if you want to change things here is, let's just do flowers. All you have to do is grab what you want and put it right there. That one didn't do it, actually. Okay. So grab that and shrink it down and replace it. So you can go and make things and replace it. Sometimes you can go and they have it to where you can just grab something and it will actually go right into that spot. But this template doesn't allow that. But so you can really see how you can change it up for your own. Now, if you want to go and change the color, so you can see it has document colors, all the documents right here. I'm going to get into how to set up your style guide when we get into the Canva, the Canva training modules. It also has the color of this that I'm using, this sphere looking, futuristic looking thing. So you can look on here and you can say, okay, I would like to change the cream to that so it matches. You can do the same thing there. You can see the cream, but I want to make it so it's matching. All of those things you can do with a template, so starting off with a template and then making it your own. All right, and I'm going to get rid of that. All right, so when you use Canva, Canva could be an option for you to be able to utilize the power that it has in order to organize the left part of the analytical side of the project charter. So as you can see, there is a lot of fun you can do on the analytical side of the discovery phase. When you are utilizing Canva and you're being able to go in and organize the project charter so that you have this livable, breathing document that will help guide you all the way through your project phases. If you found this helpful, the very best way you can support me would be to share this link and talk about what you're learning on social media. Grab some friends and come in and join in the fun. If you have any questions, make sure you put them in the comments below, or you are welcome to tag me on Twitter. And next training session will be the strategy phase. So you've got a little bit of work to do before then, and we'll see you in the next training center.